Let's go to Capitol Hill, where they might need to order in because there is little movement in Congress and on the debt ceiling. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is telling House Republicans to lay their cards on the table.
Speaker McCarthy, what about you? The House GOP is threatening spending cuts. Well, what are they? Why the evasion? Why is your conference hiding from the American people? House Republicans, where are your cards?
Joining us now, co-chairs of the House Problem Solvers Caucus, Democratic Congressman Josh Gottheimer of New Jersey and Republican Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick of Pennsylvania. I mean, Brian, I'll start with you. How do you solve this problem?
Yeah, well, thanks for having us. Good to see you guys again. Obviously we have two simultaneous issues going on right now. Number one is the risk of default. We cannot let that happen under any circumstances. And second is, the fact that our debt to GDP is, exceeding 100%, which threatens to devalue our currency. Both of those things are bad. So I think we ought to solve both of them. And I think the way to do it, and we got a lot of work to do, and we're already starting on it, is taking a look at the debt ceiling law itself, which I believe dates back to 1917, perhaps changing it from an absolute dollar amount to a debt to GDP ratio, and having certain spending caps on discretionary spending. But this is all part of the negotiation. We're starting working on it now. We just got sworn in, and we're already hard at work, and we'll get there. We'll find a solution.
So I guess the same question for Representative Gottheimer, but isn't the problem not you? These sounds like really like a good start, but aren't there fairly extreme members of one party that are going to keep anything productive from happening to happen?
Well, I think our responsibility, and we have a deep responsibility, is to not default and to make sure that the full faith and credit of the United States is not held hostage by extremists and those who believe it's okay to literally take down America's credit in the world, right? So we know that can't happen. We can't let that happen. It's why many of us are sitting down in the Problem Solvers Caucus, which we co-chair. We're sitting down and having conversations. There are things, as you know, that are non-negotiable. Right? We're not going to default. We're not going to default. I feel strongly we can't gut Social Security and Medicare. There are things that there are lines. But at the end of the day, we should be having conversations, and it's okay to have those conversations about the long-term fiscal health of our country. Those are good discussions to have, but we can't do them in the frame of we're going to default if we can't work things out. That is not an acceptable alternative here. That is not reasonable.
Congressman Fitzpatrick, good morning. What do you know about potential demands made by some members of your party over in the House about what kind of deal they want to have cut in order to raise the debt limit? They've signaled that they want cuts in spending. They're now deficit and debt hawks again. Do you know anything about details of what they're asking for? What would satisfy them to get them to raise the debt limit?
I don't, everybody's got different perspectives on this. And one of the purposes of our bipartisan group that Josh and I lead is this is what we're made for, right? When you have a tight margin and divided chambers, tight margins in both chambers, we are here to drive solutions up the center and overcome the extremes, both on the far right and the far left. So you're going to have a lot of different opinions. Two things that are important. Number one, everything will go through regular order. So everything's got to go through committee, including my committee that I sit on, the Ways and Means Committee. And second, we also have our voting cards in a tight margin. It's a 4-vote margin in the House. And we'll make sure that nothing extreme gets across the finish line. So, we're trying to offer an alternative, have one at the ready that's a bipartisan solution that we hope to offer up soon.
Congressman Gottheimer, I know your group tries to emphasize bipartisan solutions, but there's a lot of partisanship right now on display in the House, particularly over committee assignments, where we have had not just Speaker McCarthy empower some fringe members of his caucus into positions of prominence, but also try to block Democrats from sitting on committees, including Representatives Schiff and Swalwell on the Intelligence Committee, Congressman Omar from another committee as well. Could I get your reaction to this? Is this an appropriate step?
Well, to your first point, right, this idea of making sure that we can govern is critically important, right? Meaning that we have to, especially as Brian said, we got a 4-seat majority. We're going to have to work together to get things done for the country, right? And that's our responsibility. We can't let a few extremists block things. It can't just be all investigations and screaming and yelling. We actually have to get work done. I don't think it's ever healthy for the institution when we attack each other, when throwing people off committees. That's not for their views. That is not a great way forward. But at the end of the day, that's why, we try to put aside all the noise and the screaming and the yelling and the tweets and sit down and say, where can we get things done? And if you look, Willie, at the last Congress, right, of how much we got done in the 4-seat margin, working together from infrastructure to chips and standing up to China and improving domestic manufacturing to veterans to common sense gun legislation, all bipartisan, all working together in a 4-seat majority. So we're going to keep doing the work, and I think, and try to put aside all the screaming and yelling and the noise and do our jobs.
Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick, can you chime in on this? I mean, you sit on intelligence. What do you make of those two members being kicked off? And there's sort of a tradition of having bipartisan representation, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah, Mika. So, I think the most important thing for all of us when it pertains to all these people, let's just have one consistent rule that applies equally to all members of Congress from both parties. There was a precedent that was set last Congress, which I thought was very damaging. A lot of my Democrat colleagues believed it was damaging as well, to start removing people from committees absent any kind of ruling from the Ethics Committee or any criminal prosecution or the like. So I just want to be consistent. I think we got to turn the page on all this divisiveness and just start working together. Mika, I'm on the House Intelligence Committee. I hope Josh gets there this cycle as well. We are getting briefed on the existential threat that the Chinese Communist Party poses to our country every single day, and they love seeing this divisiveness. They love seeing it because they know it's time we're not focusing on them. So that's what we want to focus on.
Co-chairs of the Problem Solvers Caucus, Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick and Josh Gottheimer, thank you both very much for being on the show this morning. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Good to see you.